I say it's blinking. Not supposed to blink, is it?
It's the audio.
Good evening, everybody. I'll call the March 21st, 2023 meeting of the Owen County Advisory Plan Commission to order. Couple of housekeeping things to remember, because we do have a public meeting tonight. Each person that would like to speak will be given 3 minutes to speak. Donna will keep track. When she gets to a minute, she'll give you the one sign. You can consider that your number one, or you know that you've got a minute to go, so kind of wrap it up. That way we can get as much information as we can. And that, when I call that public meeting, then that will go into effect. We'll hear the petitioners first. We'll take comments from the commission, and then we'll let the public speak. That's what a public hearing is. So, right now, if you haven't already done so, please sign in. When you do come up to speak, I need your name and your address for the record. And with that, we will, if everyone will please rise, we'll do the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call.
Amy Kister.
Here.
Bob Curry.
Here.
Amy Meyer.
Here.
Kenneth Sebastian.
Here.
Bill Purcell.
Here.
Norm Warner.
Here.
Chad Van Ryan. Donna McIntyre. Here. Mike Wofford.
Here. Okay, number 4 on the agenda, approval of minutes. We need to take these separate, please. So first before us, the February the 21st, 2023 minutes of our meeting. You've had these in your packet. I would entertain a motion.
Move to approve.
Bill Purcell. Donna got you.
That's it.
Seconded by Donna. All in favor of the February 21st minutes, raise your hand. 8-0. Okay. February the 28th minutes. That was our joint work session with KK on the plan. And there is one amendment that I have, and that's we need to add Donna McIntyre to the attendees. She was omitted, so Susan is going to make that change. But with that amendment, I would entertain a motion to approve the minutes for the 28th joint session.
Second.
Seconded by Bob.
Yeah, I don't see any attendees, February 28th.
No, I think it wasn't the amendment to our minutes.
Oh,
Not.
she was on the 21st, wasn't she?
No. It was the 21st that has the names.
Yeah.
28th.
Yeah, I
Sorry.
don't think any of us was signed in on the 20th.
So I move we approve them as amended. Also, my name's misspelled, so.
Okay.
Moving on.
So we need to
As-
fix Bill's spelling and put Donna on the 21st meeting. 28th meeting, and who made that motion? Donna made the motion,
I'll
Bob
second.
seconded. All in favor of the 28th meeting minutes? Raise your hand. 8-0. Okay. Whew.
Okay. I need everybody to sign.
Yes.
So.
Want me to move forward while we're signing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Number 5, old business. To my knowledge, we have no old business, correct? Okay. Number 6, new business. Before I open the public hearing, I have a couple of things that I want to read. for the attendees and for the commission. And this is just information that I have gleaned or gathered, or Dana has gathered, on zoning, spot zoning. I know that was a question. So give me just a second here. So protect the county and property owners from undesirable or non-conforming uses. That was goal number 4 on our current comprehensive plan that we just passed. Preserve rural character and county natural resources. That was another thing that was on our, and then under standing spot zoning. So whether a particular rezoning constitutes an unlawful spot zoning depends largely upon the facts surrounding the zoning decision and upon the jurisdictional decisions of each state. However, courts commonly note that the underlying question is whether the zoning decision advances the health, safety, welfare of the community. A zoning decision merely provides for, or if it provides for individual benefit without the relationship to public benefit, that cannot be legally supported. So, just food for thought. I've done a little bit of reading on this, quite a little bit actually. The other thing is, pursuant to the Plan Commission, at our meeting tonight, we have 5 criteria that we must meet. We have to look at the comprehensive plan, which we just spoke of. We have to look at the current conditions and character of the current structures and the uses in each district. The most desirable use of which the land in each district is adapted. The conservation of property values throughout the jurisdiction, and the responsible development and growth thereof. That's the 5 criteria that we have to base our decision on. A couple of other things, we are an advisory board. We will take a vote tonight after the public hearing. That is just to make an advised decision or pass an advisory decision on to the commissioners. Commissioners will always make the final call on this. We, if you will, pre-screen and do the background work so that their job is a little easier. What we do tonight, we'll pass it on to the commissioners, and that will make a decision at some other date. That date hasn't been picked yet. It'll be whenever they can work it on their agenda. And I don't know when that is sitting here tonight. Okay?
And they may not go with our
They
recommendation.
do not have to go with our recommendation. No matter what our recommendation is, they can go against it, they can go with it. Like I said, we are pre-screening, if you will, and going through all this paperwork. We want to hear what you guys have to say. That's why we have a public hearing. I can't speak for everyone. I have not made up my mind until I've heard everybody in the room. So I know a lot of times people say, well, the decision's already been made. Not in my head, it hasn't. But I'm one of 8 tonight. But the reason we have public hearings is to hear everybody. So that's why we give you time to speak. That's why we sit and listen. I'm not gonna close my ears to anyone. So with that being said, I will call the public hearing for the rezone application of the DGOG Cloverdale from agricultural to commercial. Are the petitioners here?
Yes.
Okay, if you would come forward, state your name,
My name is Dave Hall. I'm
And
with Cham and Associates.
present your application, please.
Okay, I'll get a card with my address. Okay, so as you know, we're here to petition to switch 1.99 acres, as you have shown in the blue box there, from ag to commercial. The use would be a Dollar General convenience store. It will have a single entrance off of US 231. It will reuse the existing entrance improved. There has been an NDOT application made for the entrance improvement. The store will consist of 10,000 square feet and a concrete parking lot. I will have stormwater detention
has been sized in accordance with NDOT. It will also be on well and septic, obviously, and propane. Looks like it should be driving through here, should be a benefit to anybody south of there that would otherwise have to drive up into Cloverdale. Or otherwise drive down into Spencer. So that is my application. I take any questions from you guys.
Anybody got anything?
I have a question.
Sure.
I'm assuming you checked with the state as far as what a septic tank, how big a septic system you'll have is 1.99?
That'll be, yeah, that goes to the county, permitted through the county health department. And that application has been made as well.
I'm just thinking of 1.99 acres and a 10,000 square foot floor, plus a well, you have to be 50 foot from the well.
Correct, the well will be in front of the building in the parking lot, guarded off, of course. And the septic will be behind it, so that'll be to the east or west of the building. So building faces the road.
Have you gotten, first off, is your permit for your well, septic, or the road actually been stamped and approved yet?
To my knowledge, they were submitted recently, so.
Right. Have you done any kind of traffic study whatsoever?
There was a traffic study done, to my knowledge. I don't have it with me, but.
And I haven't seen it, so
Okay,
that's an issue,
okay.
just because I wanna know what's said.
Typically, between 200 to 300 cars a day would enter the store.
But, and you know that for a fact.
Well, that's based on other Dollar Generals.
Well, I'm not talking about how much traffic you're gonna get into your building, I'm talking about how much traffic goes by on 231.
Sure.
And then we also have a provision in our ordinances for 80% coverage of a plat of a piece of property, and I think we're gonna be pushing close on it, just saying.
Let's see here. I might be able to tell you that. I think with let's see if I got that on here. If I remember right, I think it was 1.4 acres that was being called pervious for the detention. So let's see. 1.54 acres is in detention. And of that, let's see if I can get this right. Eighty percent of that, of the 1.54 acres is pervious, so. I'm gonna list right.
The other one does.
So, and I was out there the other day, I go to all sites. I don't talk to anybody because I'm not allowed to, but I do go to all the sites. I have a little concern about the rise coming from the south. Especially, I think you would have been better off, and that's not in your design, to have brought your entrance back closer to the crest of that hill. It's not a giant hill, but a small car, as you're coming toward it from the south, there's a hump there. And with your entrance where it is, and me knowing how they drive up through there, because I'm one of them, I see a potential for an issue maybe. So at some point, we may need a, once we get down the road further, I don't know. That's a concern of mine.
So, I did sit there and watch traffic from both ways, and I see what you mean. For a split second, you do lose a car right in that dip there as it comes up the hill. Yep, the other direction looks good.
The north coming south isn't a big of an issue. There isn't a bit of a curve there, but it's a sweeper. But from the
I
south,
counted about 18 seconds, you could see a car coming over that one. But, Yeah, you had about 4 seconds when it came back to the entrance. And you only lost it for a second or two, but yeah, I see what you mean. That'll all be addressed with NDOT as well, so.
Well, that's why I'm wondering, on your permit when they will actually approve the thing, because they're gonna look at that same thing.
Usually they give us feedback within 30 days.
And you've not heard anything yet?
To my knowledge, it's been less than 30 days since they
Okay.
submitted it, so.
Anybody else?
But you don't have any amount that shows what the traffic is that goes in that area?
We do, and I apologize, I did not bring that with me, so I did not do the traffic study.
Did I miss it? I mean, was it in the packet and I just missed it? Because I don't think it was in there.
I don't have it in my,
Okay.
Yeah, because that's
In the
so that we
folder?
know that, because of the people that's affected by it.
I mean, I have a driveway permit, but no other thing.
Well, and he's got a permit filed, it's not been,
No, I don't
Notarized.
have the I don't have a study, no.
So we don't have that, and we don't have the Indy.gov and stuff, or has that been turned in?
The permit for, wrong map. The driveway permit is here,
has it been notarized though?
let me see.
Did the county stamp it? See, I don't
The
see a
county
permit.
sent, the
I see
county
no
wouldn't,
permit number on it, wouldn't they?
yeah, they would have to have, see, it doesn't have, it doesn't show a permit number there on that bottom.
I'm assuming
Corner
since
side.
there's some holes out there, they have done a soil drainage test,
Perk test.
perk test.
They did, the classification, soil classification in accordance.
So do we know where we're at on that permit?
I don't
You don't?
know.
Okay.
I don't think we know a whole lot of what is entailed in the permit and stuff. We're missing a lot of information.
Yeah, let me see, is, in there?
Well, this store can carry liquor.
Oh, they heard you, Bill.
I say, will this
What's that?
store carry liquor? Because you have a church campground across the road from you. I'm not
Sure.
of that.
That I don't know, because you guys will have to issue a liquor license for it. I don't know that they requested one as of yet. And maybe that's just further along.
I don't think you can when it has anything to do with the
That
church
makes
and
sense.
school.
Sure.
I just don't know where
Is
a
that-
campground, I know a church, I don't know if a campground or not.
The campground is that considered a church?
Well, it's owned by a church.
Yeah,
facility,
It's a church campground.
Okay.
and it's
So
literally,
that would fall into the same category as being a church or a school.
Gotcha.
Here's the septic information. I mean, it's on its side, but
yeah, that's, and I've seen the perk, I mean, those are
Yeah.
the perk tests.
some, that has been soil
Been
scientists
certified.
and everything
That
has
one's-
done that.
That one's got the seal on it, so that one's good.
Yeah.
The other two are not.
I'm trying to see if there's anything else. Nope, that's the last of it. So those are the holes that they did.
Okay, does anybody have anything else before we go to public comment?
I don't.
Sir, are you done?
I'm good if you guys are good.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Thanks for considering it.
Okay, public comments. Remember, you got 3 minutes. Don will let you know when you got a minute left. And so let's go in sequence. And I usually like to start out with those in favor, just because a lot of times they're the smaller group. Quite honest with you. So anyone would like to speak in favor of this application, I need you to
Nobody's
stand, state your name, your address, and then you can speak, and let's just start over here and work our way across, so. Yes, sir.
I'm Will Dobbins, man. A lot of you guys know me, a lot of people don't.
Hold on just a second, sir. Come up here so that this pen can pick you up, please.
Okay,
And when you speak, speak directly to us.
okay.
It just makes it easier.
So, I've come through a lot of growth over the years in different counties. And I know there's gonna be a lot of people oppose this, but there's a lot of good that comes with bringing business to you as well. And I know I've seen some posts on Facebook, them talking about, you know, Mill Grove store won't exist if Dollar General comes into town, and that's not true. There's two different business models totally. The one thing that I'm glad that he did ask, because I was in question of it too, is whether it was gonna carry alcohol. I know for a fact, Mill Grove store sells a lot of alcohol. I own a campground locally. I do a lot of business at Mill Grove. I don't wanna see it hurt Mill Grove. I actually think it would better the community with the fact of it's keeping money within the county. You're gonna keep people from going to Cloverdale that's then gonna decide that, while I'm up here, I'm gonna go ahead and eat and get my gas because it's 10 cents cheaper. So I'm actually in favor of it. And I knew I would be one of the few in here, but since I've been through the growth of Hamilton County, the growth of Boone County, some of these counties that I've done business in for years, I see and I understand this a little better than the common person. I know the farmers are gonna be against it. You know, the people who live local, I don't want that store next to me, and I totally understand that. But as a whole, when you look at it, it can be a really good thing to bring it in. I gotta say though, that's the worst presentation I've ever heard on a commercial property in my life. I'm just gonna
Sir,
say it.
hey, just direct up here, don't speak to the petitioners or anybody behind you, please.
It literally, you know, usually in these petitions, they come, they're prepared, they've got all their numbers, they've got what they're gonna do for the community. I've been through tons of these meetings before, and it was a very bad presentation. I think they need to go back and get themselves regrouped if they wanna be in our county.
Thank you. Anyone else in favor? Like I said, usually a small group. Okay, opposed. If you would like to speak, let's start over here and work our way to you. So, anybody? Yes, sir. Come forward, state your name, and she'll start your clock after you get your address out for us. Make sure you're speaking just to the panel, please.
Yep.
Don't speak to anyone else in here. Don't want any arguments and fights, or I'll have to get my little gavel out. All right, so state your name and your address, and then let's roll.
Jeffrey Austin, 12140 Shortcut Road, Cloverdale, Indiana.
Okay.
I'll start with, since he mentioned Hamilton County, I went to high school in Westfield. I don't know Westfield anymore. My mom still lives up there, and I can get lost on the country roads that I used to roam when I was, that's 1977. So it can happen fast. So yes, it seems silly, but I moved out here for a very good reason. I'm a newcomer, 30 years, but I moved out here because of the way this country is. I have several problems with this. Probably my biggest point of confusion is really why there, because again, it's a slippery slope. We go from ag to business in a stretch that is nothing but ag. You have business up by Mill Grove, you've got business up in Cloverdale, which could certainly extend out. I know my mama loves her some dollar store. I don't understand, and I've heard several references, well, the folks in QNOT don't want to drive that extra mile, and nothing against them, but it's an extra mile. So I don't understand the need for a Dollar General when we have 2 miles up the road. I'd say it's about 2 miles. Again, the other issue I have is the buying farmland and then getting it redistricted to ag, which is basically immediately a financial gain for the folks that have done it. I'm not saying that's the justification, but it really is. We've already got 2 business, I assume the Mill Grove area is business. But we've already got a business zone down there that still has area they can build. We've got a business that is sitting on the corner of 42 and 231, which can't even get anything going. So there's available space, and there's more space in Clover. Again, if you're building a Dollar General and you've already got one, I can see why you don't want to do that, but I don't understand a mile away from that area wanting to put another Dollar General store in there. And yes, I'm selfish. I've bought 5 acres when I moved out here, and I bought 20 from this gentleman's dad. So I've got a nice little piece of paradise that I have done all I can to keep the way it is and make it better. And what that's gonna do is something I don't have now, light pollution. So I'm gonna have cars, how many cars did he say? A bunch of cars. I'm gonna have cars pulling in there, headlights facing right in towards my property.
Okay, so
That's a 1 minute, or that's my 3 minutes?
that's your three, I think.
Wow.
Is that three or one?
Fired up.
Thank you, though.
Put me in the negative.
Who's next? Gentlemen, who's next? Coming this way?
Oh, I'd like to.
Okay.
I am a recently acquired owner at 8290 McCullough Road, from the
Okay.
Jones family, who also own a lot of property in the area, Gosport. My big fear is what's next. We let this happen, we take it to a business zone, what's next? This is how our world changes. We have the right to stop it now before it does that and takes it to the business after, the Dollar General, and those after that. Keep our land pure in what God gave us.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
We lose, well,
State your name and address first.
Chad Cummings, I don't have an address, I'm just the field next to it. We lose 2,000 acres a day in the United States to commercialization development. And how are we gonna eat? You know, this is 1.9 acres, but what's gonna grow after that? What's gonna go next to it? You know, you have that road frontage. And another thing is the stormwater, is it all gonna outlet onto 231?
Yes.
That's correct.
That's not a good deal. That's not a good deal at all. There's barely enough drainage there now to be able to do it. And the state is not real great at taking care of their ditches, because if you go just north of that, we have a driveway that runs into our land, and you can see where the ditch is washed out and the state's not doing anything. So if you put that much more water into that ditch, you're gonna have traffic accidents. And then,
You're north of there?
yeah, and then you're gonna have traffic accidents, you're gonna have deaths. That road's a death trap anyway, you said you drive it, you know what it's like.
Mhm.
So, that's what I'm saying, just, you know, it's only 2 acres now, but what's another 2 acres on the side of it? And another 2 acres on the side of it, and then you're pushing people out of their country living. That's it.
Is that it? Okay. Who's next? Coming this way. No, go ahead.
My name is Emily Bilbrey. I live at 11772 North US Highway 231. I can see my driveway in that picture. It's at the very bottom, goes down into that valley. I have lived at that location, well, we've been there 5 years now, but I grew up there. I lived there my whole life. I have seen so many wrecks, fatalities, a couple fatalities. So not just is the road dangerous, it's too dangerous to put anything right there. It's also a passing lane right there. So even pulling out of our driveway, you have to double. I mean, you gotta look 4 or 5 times because it could be clear, nobody's cut, but they'll pass. So even though it's clear, you still gotta look because, you know, just pulling out of the driveway, you could get smacked. So having a business literally right across the street, we're not okay with that. I live with my elderly father too. He can't be here tonight, but he said, no, thank you. And also the farmland, we don't wanna see more farmland go. And we live down in that valley, so we already have a lot of water erosion that comes down into our home. I don't wanna see any more of that happen, but yeah, we vote no at 11772. Yes, 231.
Thank you.
My name's Anthony Bilbrey. I also live at 11772 North US Highway 231. I've been there for approximately 5 years. There has been quite a few accidents down in that gully for people not paying attention. I'm also against them taking up more farmland from the farmers when there's always a thing you hear on the news, there's food shortages. Okay, that defeats part of the purpose. And this gentleman over here brought up the water erosion. It's gonna come down in our driveway. We have constant, the trash trucks and everything that come through, there's garbage in our yard all the time. That's just from regular individuals throwing it out the window. If that company was to go in there and all their trash started coming down to my yard, would they be held reliable, get told to come down here and clean up their mess that they've made up our place? And I do not like the idea of them putting a septic in, which could leach out, pollute farmland even more, and cause more damage to people like us out in the country that moved out here to be away from the city, because that's where I came from. That's why I moved out here, was to get away from everything being on top of each other. But that road is a death trap. I've seen people hit the guardrail last year, and I don't know how long it took the ambulance and the cops and stuff to show up. That is not a safe zone. If there is no turn lanes or nothing there, it's just a death trap, in my opinion. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes. Go ahead, Wayne, I'll get you in just a minute, ma'am.
My name's Wayne McCormick and I own the Millgrove store. And my concern is that it's gonna hurt my business to start with. And you made a statement early that it's to make it convenient for everybody. They got 2 of these convenience stores in Cloverdale now. They got one at the lake, they got 2 in Gosport, they got 2 in Spencer. How many more do you need? Plus it's taking up farmland. And the water, if they put a blacktop road up in there, it's gonna rush the water right out into the highway, and it's gonna be accidents, which there is already, so. But anyhow, that's what I got to say.
Yes, ma'am.
Hello, my name is Barbara Harris. I live at 11538 US Highway 231, just north of there. The accidents that happen there it is unbelievable. I have had to testify in court. I've lived there 22 years. The traffic is way more than 100 to 200 cars. That may be an hour. They come around our corner 70 miles an hour. There's no way they could get stopped at the time the traffic turned into the dollar store. I've begged the Owen County Police Department to come down there. We've told them they can sit in our driveway. You could fund Owen County if you handed out tickets from my driveway. It's ridiculous. There was an accident right there where they want to put the dollar store last night. I've held people when they die, when they've passed, in my yard. This is real. There's not enough room there. You have to put another lane in. Something would have to be done. Every time my son pulls out of our driveway, I pray to God that he gets out okay. Because they come around that corner so fast, there's no way we could possibly get stopped. It's ridiculous. There definitely would have to be something done to the road for that to be able to go in. So, thank you.
Thanks. Jeff. Jeff, we keep being on a first name basis, they're gonna think we hang out together, you know?
I'm Jeff Marks, 5650 Fish Creek Road. I'm against this because we just got done putting together a comprehensive plan. And I think I heard you, Mr. Warner, say something about it needs to follow the comprehensive plan. This is already an exception to it. And then later on in the reasons for approving, you said if it makes a substantial increase in the community or something like that. I'm not hearing that, and I would feel it would be wrong, I think, to approve something this early in the comprehensive plan that goes so against the comprehensive plan and doesn't appear to have utility in the community.
Go ahead.
My name's Alan McCormick at 9205 Owen Park Road. And Mill Grove Diner and Country Mart is our store. I see some of the faces that come in and frequent us, so we definitely appreciate it. A lot of good things have been said here, so I'm not gonna repeat a lot of those. I'm for a very capitalistic America. I believe in great competition. I guess we're on the side of the very small mom and pop store that can't. I don't know how you compete with a Walmart or a Dollar General or a Target or a Kroger or those kind of stores. But that's from a business standpoint from us. I'll tell you this, that we'll figure it out. If your board is, if your decision and the zoning decision is, we'll find a way. As I say that, I should have jumped up before him because he took a lot of my thunder, but I want to repeat a little bit of that. You talked about preserving rural care, health, safety, welfare of the community, conservation, most desirable use of the land. I mean, that's comments that you've made.
Right.
And I guess as you go through this process that you go through, how do you check those boxes off? I don't know how you do, if I were sitting in your seat, but I'm very partial to the non-pro side. But as I'm sitting there, I don't know how you check off most desirable use, conservation of the land, health, safety, welfare of the community, preserve rural care. You talked really quickly. There's a couple other points I wanted to mark down, but I wasn't quick enough to get my pen out and do it. But that's what I'm challenged is when you're going through that process is how do you check those boxes for those things that you talked about, and does this really bring that to the community? So can I ask a question as I'm up here also?
Sure. I was, yeah.
So when you guys make your choice and as far as what you're going to submit to the zoning department, I see the one, thank you very much. When you make that decision for the zoning department, do we understand what that choice is? What you guys decide, or is that something that we're not privy to?
Well, no, we'll make the decision on our meeting unless if we make a decision, you'll know it tonight.
Okay. I was just curious.
Or if we table, or if we, you'll know what we've decided tonight.
Tonight, okay, and then that goes to zoning and.
That would go to the commissioner.
The commissioner, how long
Unless,
is that process?
if we table or if we postpone,
Okay.
then it would go to a next meeting of ours.
Okay, and will we know about that one also, or is that?
Yeah, we have to give notice of all our meetings 10 days ahead, and the petition sign would be out on the properties, just like we did this time.
Okay.
We have to do that, statute says so.
Okay, I'm gonna sit down before I get the hook, I think.
Who's next?
My name is Gary Bates. Address is right there, 11733 US 231. And that farm's been in our family for 99 years this year. And we raise natural grass-fed beef there. Our cattle run around in that little pasture, which is right on the side of the road. And all the water that comes from that rise, which is where that driveway is, comes into my front pasture with all the trash as well. And it pools, and then it builds up a little bit of a level, then it goes underneath my driveway, then it goes into the creek, which heads to Lieber. So I'm really concerned about all the pollutants in the parking lot that are gonna end up there. I'm concerned about the light pollution. It's gonna disturb my animals. I'm concerned about kids, when they ever get to that camp, going across to that attractive candy store across the street. So I'm sure they will not put in a traffic light. Is that in the plan? A stoplight?
Well, here's the problem. That's a state thing. We wouldn't have any bearing on that. Trust me, we tried up here at this quarry in Gosport to get something, and you can see how that turned out, so.
Right. And so last night, it's about 6:20, I was coming down there, nice clear night like this, great big wreck. You can pass those around, please. So it was a clear day, hardly any traffic at that point, because that's after the rush hour, dry pavement, and look at this car. This was last night. I got there before the police did, because they took about 20 minutes to get there.
And that's right there at the rock church
You could see the
entryway.
sign in the picture.
Yeah.
Right there. I mean, that's like, what, 100 feet from that entrance there? I
Yeah,
mean, it's one thing to say that there's a lot of traffic accidents, stuff like, when you see these pictures, you're like, oh my God, right? That's a real accident. And we've had people go through our front gate, tear that out, flip over, get into that creek with no other obstructions there. Now, you put an attractive thing in there, a nuisance, you know, it's not gonna be pretty. I've seen the stores in Greencastle, it's got racks of stuff sitting outside. The store's been shut down in other states because they got too much crap in there. You can't get through the store, and they got it parked outside, so they've been shut down by fire marshals. There's stories on the internet all about this. They set up algorithms to establish these stores. They don't care where it goes unless there's enough traffic. They're not looking enough people traffic. And it's just it's not a great spot.
Thank you for bringing the pictures.
You're welcome.
Here they are.
Anybody else? Yes.
this lady.
My name is Sonia McQuaid. I'm at 11676 US 231. When I'm heading south out of Cloverdale to turn my driveway, people are going down 70, 75 miles an hour, and they will pass me when I'm getting ready to turn left. Traffic is awful there. And that's not very far from my driveway. I just want you to know that there is gonna be a lot of wrecks, and with the kids across the street, there's always gonna be kids sneaking out of camp at night and going doing something they're not supposed to, and somebody's gonna have a fatality. And that's all.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay.
Can I ask a question? I didn't use my 3 minutes. I was quick. Joy Gray,
Just keep your head.
part of the Jones family, Gosport.
I
So
remember.
if there's 1.99 acres allocated to this, is that all? What's next? I mean, if we zone that business, then
Well,
if that's,
let me interrupt you. First off, I can't speak to an application I don't have in front of me. I hear what you're saying, but to ask me that would be asking me what's gonna happen 20 years from now at the same place. I don't know that. None of us do. So,
I hear what you're saying, but
yes,
I know what you're saying.
I don't know. I can't answer your question.
have they requested zoning change for 1.99 acres? Or is it more and that Dollar General is just in that 1.99?
It's that 1.9 acres, as far as I know, that's all that's on this application.
So you guys let this happen now? You decide to push it through? Because it sounds like it's almost already there. You've got seals on things. It's at that point. However, if you let this happen, this opens up the door for the businesses behind it. Next, it's gonna be an apartment complex. It's just creating more danger and more havoc if you open that door. It's like Pandora's box. The fatalities, the accidents. I came on that accident last night, a white car.
Right.
I don't know where that person was down that
Ma'am,
road. Were you
ma'am.
there? But I came on, so here I was, 2 police officers coming up behind me, Owen County cop cars, right? I'm pulling off the side of the road, traffic's blazing everywhere. Here comes an EMS, and I come up on that accident. And that's exactly where you wanna put this. Please consider the safety of everybody. If not, keeping it agricultural and not putting it in business, but consider the safety. Because the people, the residents in this county count on you to make those decisions for them, to keep them safe.
Okay.
So with that, unless someone else has anything, I'm going to close the public hearing.
But you have the two come.
Oh, okay.
So you have to,
Okay.
yeah, you have to read.
Do I
those.
have them?
Yeah, they were in your packet.
Okay, so we do have 2 other comments that came in letter form,
These were phone calls.
Our phone calls.
Yeah, these are phone.
So Linda, no last name, called today. Her opinion on petition 23, or 2023-3, rezone application for Overland Group. We have enough Dollar Trees and Dollar Generals, please. I remember very vividly when Walmart came to Spencer that it almost destroyed the downtown. It has taken 30 years to recover. I live in the northern part of Owen County. Please reconsider it, as it is not beneficial to the area. Then the second call was from Laura Klein. She lives on County Line Road, 1300 South, also known as Louisville Road. She is concerned about the traffic on 231 and that it will be a big issue for kids crossing the road when the campgrounds open up. She also stated that she is 3 miles away from a dollar store in Cloverdale and 5 miles or so from the QNOT store, I'm assuming. If they would put in a stoplight to slow down traffic, that would help in the area. Your comment about the permits. I don't do permits. That's the courthouse. That would have to be done regardless of what we do with the application. Just because a private citizen gets a new septic tank, they have to get it permitted, they have to get it stamped. So my question on whether they were stamped or not is to know where they're at in that process. That still doesn't affect what we would have to do here. Commission, you got anything else?
I've got a question. There'll probably be a deceleration on it.
Well, but we don't know that.
I know.
That's why, at the very minimum, we need some sort of traffic.
There's
a guardrail on either side of the road right there.
It's a ditch.
Yes, sir.
I'm not very good at this. I'm Tad Wilson. Live at 877 Maple Drive here in Spencer. I own the property behind it off of Shortcut Road. We keep talking about traffic, which is fine, but the traffic's gonna be there whether we have a store there or we don't have a store there. We haven't talked about what economical values this is gonna be for the people that work around there or wanna work there. That is important. The opportunities that will develop from this, I think, will be great. Not everybody wants to drive to Bloomington or Greencastle or Spencer to work. They'll have some supervisors. And there'll be more traffic, but the drainage will be taken care of as is required. I mean, I wouldn't think that the people would let it happen. And I know nothing about Dollar General other than it's the 5th largest retailer in the United States. And I'd like to see us happen.
Thanks, sir.
Can I respond to that?
Don't mention it.
There's a noose out there.
Okay. So, now that we've heard,
I've not used my 3 minutes, man.
sir,
Well, we're done.
one time, we're done. So I will call the public hearing to a close. Okay. And with this application, personally, I feel this is a table because I've not heard enough information for me to make an educated guess. But I'm one of 8. So I would entertain a motion from council or commissioners.
I make a motion, we table this and for the man to come back from the Dollar General for better plans, more information, this has been kind, yeah, this, you did, you done a horrible job. It needs to be, you know, you need what the traffic's gonna be, what you're gonna do for the public, and because we've heard all these negative things, it's what you need to improve on your next presentation. So I make a motion, we table this until our next meeting.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor to table this to our next meeting. Do I hear a second?
So he gets to hear our arguments, then come back with a rebuttal. There'll be another hearing.
There's another public hearing.
So we can come back with that
Yes,
as well.
absolutely.
Yes, absolutely.
We have a motion on the floor, folks. Do we need a?
Second.
Okay, second by Bill Purcell. All in favor of tabling this to the next meeting, which will be another public hearing on the same matter? Raise your hands. And opposed? 2, so 6-2. So we will table this to the next meeting. Like I said, this will be a public hearing. You are encouraged to come back and speak again. Sir, I highly recommend you get your ducks in a row. Because all these questions that you've heard, especially in reference to the traffic and extra lanes, those are conversations that need to be had with the state. We have no bearing on it, unfortunately.
Sure.
If it was my way, we would do it the right way, but it's not my way.
Understood.
So,
Well, also he needs to make sure that you're checked on whether it's gonna have alcohol or not.
right. Okay, hang on. So,
Would you let any of the public provide stuff prior to the meeting?
yes. So, if you guys would get us information like these phone calls that come in, emails will work, send letters, get those to the building department. If you can't be here, then I will read your stuff into the record, just like I did tonight with these two, once I remembered that they were there. If you can't be here, or I encourage you to come back and speak again.
I'd like to commend you because it looks like you've hit just about every one of these properties on here that I can see on this
Yeah.
map, so.
Very good turnout, and I wholly encourage that. I don't want to have these in a vacuum. I'm getting to public comments, so hang on a second. All right, so we are now at 7, which is public comments. Let's keep them short. The clock is ticking, yes.
Yeah, just real briefly, I think you mentioned the timeframe, but what's not the timeframe for the next meeting?
The next meeting will be, well,
April 18th,
Okay.
the next meeting.
that's if we get the
We got
application.
10 days notice.
Yeah, if you get the stuff, I mean, we're already past the deadline to get stuff for that meeting, but he'll need to get it to us pretty quickly. Everyone will be notified 10 days prior, and the sign will go back up 10 days prior to the notice that's being sent out. Plus, there'll be a legal notice in the paper.
Yes,
May we have copies of the meeting tonight, the minutes?
when they're prepared, you can.
The minutes are approved at the next meeting, and then after that, they're available for.
So there'll be a meeting in between now and the 18th, so that we can.
No, the minutes are approved at the next meeting, so, and basically it's the motion. Everything's on YouTube, so if you wanna re-look at it and re-listen, it's on YouTube. It should be recorded and saved on there, so.
Like the meeting minutes tonight that we approved, we can't release them until we've approved that that's what was actually said in the meeting. That's why we make the motion.
And it's not a transcript, so it's not gonna be verbatim. So it's only gonna be their motions and legal, what we have to put in them, so,
If it's recorded, it'll be on YouTube too.
yeah, it's
Yes.
recorded.
Is this common practice for someone to come in ill-prepared and be given a second chance, a third chance?
It's not a.
I was here tonight on time, I've in my seat. Obviously, the gentleman was not prepared with his presentation.
Well, first off,
He needs his permits, we need to see all that septic. Why was that not here available?
it is not unusual, just so you know. And we have to act accordingly. We just get what we get. And then we have to make our decisions based on what we
There's no
have.
saying that, okay, this was your one shot, you weren't prepared tonight, so we're done. You were revoked.
We don't have that luxury, no.
Okay.
Yeah. If he wasn't prepared, what if you wasn't prepared, be the same thing.
I mean, using that philosophy, if no one showed up but the petitioner, then we would just say yes and roll on, and that's not the case. We hear all applications, we get all the paperwork in place, and my intent is to make an intelligent and educated decision based on what we have, both sides.
So, excuse me, so if he can't make it next time, then that's off the books?
If he doesn't make it next time, it's probably because he didn't get it in the agenda in time. So we have people that come back 2-3 meetings later. It's not unusual. So to say there's a deadline or a drop dead and nothing happens after that, no, there's not.
Well, and he knows that what he has to come back with for the
Right.
next time he presents it. And if he doesn't have his stuff, then it's just wasted time.
But in the event if the state was slow getting him that day,
Yeah.
he might have to be on.
Yes, Wayne.
If you put a turn lane in there, that's gonna take part of the property and there isn't enough to build the stores or.
That's a question for the state. I don't know. I'm not it would seem to me, yeah, you're right, but I can't say.
I have a question, now, I just read this, but I'm not for sure, does Dollar General just lease the land, or do they buy it?
I can't answer that.
We don't know.
I believe they just lease it, so there's no commitment to that property.
No, the new Dollar General out on 46,
46.
they purchased,
Did they?
yes, they purchased the property.
That's public knowledge, so you can find that out if it was purchased.
I've never been there.
I do the question again with
That's why I haven't known.
the garbage and debris. The state doesn't even come along and clean up their roadside right in front of their house, which they're responsible for now. But Dollar General and all of them start having all their debris come into all of our yards. Who's gonna be reliable and held accountable for all the trash that comes around? Because if you go to any Dollar General, there's garbage there. And that wouldn't be right for the community as us as people to have to clean up their mess from whoever throws their garbage and stuff out in their parking lots or whatever.
But it's not fair to blame Dollar General for all of it either.
Well, it's not fair for us to have to suffer from their garbage when their store's there when we don't want it.
That's everywhere.
One person here's listening to mine.
What he's saying is there'll be more trash.
Going to be.
Maybe.
You put this store in.
Maybe.
So you know there's gonna be more trash, you already said there's gonna be more traffic inside the store. And if they have a dumpster out back where they throw stuff, you ever seen windstorm in a dumpster?
There you go. And it's already a mess from people, from trash trucks and everything, and like I said, this like the other gentleman brought up, the state don't clean the ditches. Our road is above us on 231 technically, which is their property because it's their roadway. They don't even clean it, it's garbage all the time. I'm the one that has to clean it. So it wouldn't be fair for Dollar General to move in and destroy all that land right there and they go scot-free without having to pay or pick up any of that trash because we know they don't because you go to any other ones, their parking lots and stuff are demolished. And as they're saying, bringing up more jobs for people, you go in and look at any Dollar General, there's maybe 2-3 employees at it, and that's it, and they're killing themselves in them stores. We do not need another one, and when we got one 10 minutes away.
Okay, let's get it.
You have something else, Jeff?
I do have a question. Where is the nearest commercial zone according to the comprehensive plan?
That would be down at Mill Grove?
Mill Grove?
Yes.
Okay. Isn't there one south too?
Well, you said the closest one.
Okay, all right. That's fair.
On the land usage map, there's commercial at the Mill Grove store and a little bit around it. Where Dell had his place, I think it's in commercial too, if I'm not mistaken. So,
Thank you.
okay. Commission, anything else? Okay. So, get to the right agenda here, folks. Staff reports.
Yeah, it was added when you did the policy,
Okay,
it was added.
any staff reports?
No.
Okay.
Number 9, Plan Commission comments, didn't appear that we had any.
None.
So 10 is adjourned, motion to adjourn.
Can I ask one more question?
Motion to adjourn. We have a motion to adjourn on the floor. Do I have a second?
Second.
I'll make it quick.
We are adjourned.
What's the tax collection if the Dollar General goes in? What does Owen County gain tax-wise, revenue-wise?
Don't know the price put on it yet.
Just a ballpark.
I have no idea.
I'm not a tax person, I can't tell you.
We are adjourned.
My question is they gonna bring our property value down as well? You don't read here.
I'll make it up.
Well, thank you.